Okay, guys, we are here today with Marcos Almeida, Buchecha, on our BJJ Fanatics podcast, and also Michael. So, Buchecha, thanks for being here. We appreciate it. So, guys, we just shot an entire instructional video with Buchecha all about his folding pass system that 80% of his matches ended up in the folding pass. And he has passed everybody's guard with this situation. So, Buchecha, talk us a little bit about that. Like, how did you develop this system of passing that you do? And
yeah, like you said, I fought a lot of guys, and most of them, not everyone, but most of them, I got the pass using the system, and actually was something that I always did, but never really was like really good at it. But after I had the knee surgery, I was so scared of people getting close to my knees and maybe I get a chance to get injury again. So when I start training again after the surgery, after 7 months of rehab, I was really afraid of passing. If I have to pass through all that again. So it made me to be so aware of people getting away from me. Then I ended up like perfecting his game and created a system that changed my whole game in jiu-jitsu, and of course made me improve a lot and for better. So it ended up being like a good thing. Of course, I never wish to get hurt, but at the end of the day was the best thing that happened in my life, you know what I mean? Because made me a better person, made me a better athlete, and made my jiu-jitsu go better. So.
Oh, and it's very interesting to watch you compete, because I remember like I have seen you competing since you were like purple or brown, and before you would pass everybody's guard like jumping side to side, like, and nowadays you pretty much play from the knees almost, like using the folding pass. So
yeah, like you said, before I used to do like a lot of jumping, but once you get like really in the higher level, it's if you one mistake sometimes can cost you the fight, and you know that. And a lot of times when you jumping too much, you end up giving the opportunity, end up like exposing yourself, giving some mistakes. So I learned with the time and with the experience, I learned that with less effort that you do, sometimes you end up being more efficient. So that's why I stopped in like moving too much. And of course, if I had to, I do it, but I always try to avoid that, and I try to avoid the scrambles. But it's still a good character, a good thing about my game, but I tried not to depend too much of that. So when I create the system of the folding pass, it helped me so much my game to get like so much control over my opponents, and making them work way more than me. So they always working, always like spending energy, always getting tired, and me working more control and getting more control of the situation. So it's been much better now.
So in a way, because you lost your athleticism through the injury, you had to adapt another way to pass, and this ended up being even more effective.
Yeah, no, actually I didn't lose. I didn't lose
for a certain amount of time.
Yes, but I still like, if I need to, I do it. Yeah. But of course, I'm getting old, and like we're not the same. I'm not 20 years old anymore, and like if I had to avoid, because it's being different to fight against. I fought against the old generation, my generation. Now I'm fighting against the new generation. So it's interesting. That's something that keeping me motivated to still fighting. So of course, I know the age is something that is there, but it doesn't make a difference if you play the right game. So of course, you're not gonna try to go head with a 20 years old guy, because maybe you can get tired. Of course, I never feel that yet, but I know it's gonna happen sooner or later.
But you feel like this would be a better passing style for, like, say, an older guy?
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
Because you don't need to jump around to be you're probably...
No, but even with a younger guy, if he gets the system, it's gonna be... Imagine he's perfecting this all along over the years. So jiu-jitsu I think is the most thankful sport ever.
Yeah.
Because as much more you train, more you get better. So that's one thankful sport. So as much more effort you put on this, more it's gonna give you back.
Yes.
So that means if you train, if you put some effort, you're gonna get better. There's no like other secret. So I think that's why it's one thankful sport. Let's call it like that. You know what I mean?
For sure.
That's how I like to think.
Yeah. And then one thing that was very interesting on the instructional video is that like you showed entrance to the folding pass from everywhere, like from every single position in jiu-jitsu. You knew how to get in the folding pass, right? So we played like spider guard, lasso, butterfly, half guard, like warm guard, and from every position you had a way to get in the folding pass. So that probably helps you a lot to play this type of game as well, right? Because you always find a way to get there.
Yeah, so like you said, you know, I mean, it's always something that is always on my head, because once I get there, I'm safe. Let's call it like that. So that's why I try to see this position from everywhere. So anywhere I look, I try to find a way to get in this position and get what I really want. Then it is take all my energy, take my opponent's energy and making him work, making him get tired. So that's one of my strategies when I'm fighting. So if my opponent's like reacting, if he's pushing, if he's fighting, it's good for me because he's reacting, he's one step behind. And if he like I'm attacking, he's defending. So when you're fighting, you don't want to be defending. So that's how I like to think. That's how my mindset works.
I kind of picture everything you're saying, because when I used to compete, I would give my life to get in the over-under pass.
Yeah, so after you get there,
then I was like, okay, not against you, but against all the others.
No, but I remember. But I remember, like, we fought a couple times, and I remember every time when you get there was a nightmare, and I lost on that position already, because after you get there, and was horrible to do something, and you made me do a lot of homework, because you made me to go to the gym and study a lot this position, because I think that's what I try to make with people now, because I put them to if he get that, what should I do, and if those ifs, all the answers that we just did in this.
Yeah, guys, in the structural, Buchecha cover like every single if in the folding pass, like if I push the head, if I push the shoulder, if I turn on the knee, if I turn inside. So that was like really amazing to see like how many options there is.
I agree, and I can also say as an older guy that there was nothing in there that I couldn't do. I mean, Buchecha is probably the most athletic competitor ever to step on a mat. He's an NFL tight end, but but at the same time, the precision. There was nothing in this video that I felt, wow, I couldn't do that. Everything was very simple to follow, so well explained. The concepts were easy to follow. It was terrific. Really did an incredible job.
Buchecha, kind of changing the subject here. Not so long ago, Michael went to compete the words, and then I remember you said you were kind of nervous and you talked with him like, hey, what do you think before the match? So I think that's one thing that everybody would love to hear from you. You are the winner, so you are the one who won the most. So what goes on your mind, like before the tournament, during the match? Like, what's your mental preparation?
When I talked to you, and I worked for the first fight, but not the second. But I've been going to the Worlds every single year for a long time. Okay, I think 7 years in a row I've gone. I've seen you win a lot of fights easily, and I've seen you almost lose a bunch of matches. I've never seen you lose a match at the Worlds. Other than this 1 year where you got hurt. But other than that, I think you've won every single match that I've seen you fight, which is absolutely incredible. I mean, I don't even know if there's an example of that in another sport. And the thing is, too, and it's great that you killed a lot of guys, but a lot of guys you didn't kill. A lot of guys you just got it out at the end, which is, when you think about it, even more impressive. So how is it that you always find a way to win? You never...
Yeah,
do you always know that you're going to win?
No, I mean, there was a good thing that you said. I never really stopped to think, but at the pyramid, I think I lost only 3 times in my life. You know what I mean? It was the first one to Léo Nogueira. No, I mean first one to Rodolfo, the first year in my black belt debut. The final to Léo Nogueira, and then to Evangelista in 2015 when I blew up my knee. So it was 3 fights, and man, I had like a lot of fights there. So for me, that's the place. That's the best place for me to compete, where I feel like really good. And just like you said, you know what I mean? The first thing, like when I wake up, it's one thing. If I wake up and I can't eat the breakfast, it's gonna be a good day because like, oh my God, I'm nervous. Like I'm scared. I'm afraid.
So you want to be nervous?
Yes, because the year that I wasn't nervous, the year that I got hurt. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So that's huge here because I see a lot of people say like, oh, I get nervous. What do I do? So you just accepted that.
People think that just go out. That's gonna be like a walk in the park. No, it's not like that. You know what I mean? A lot of times I wake up, oh my God, why am I doing this again? You know what I mean? Yeah. But after you win, I said, oh my God, thank God I did this. You know what I mean? Like it's always this feeling. Yeah. Like I don't know what I'm doing this. I don't know. Like man, every time it looks like I feel like getting more nervous and it's being harder. So the first thing when I wake up in the morning and I can't eat the breakfast, it's a good day. I think okay, it's everything good. So of course I take like 1 hour to eat like my breakfast and usually I do that like in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you know what I mean? And when I go to the tournament, I always like to go at least 2 hours before my fight. Let's see, if I'm gonna fight like 12, like 1 p.m., I need to get there by 11, you know what I mean? I don't like to go there by 8, by 9 to watch my teammates to fight. Of course, you know what I mean? When I'm going to the wars, you have to think about like, it's my life, so I have to focus 100% on my situation there. So that's why I like to go 2 hours because that's the time that I need to go there to sit, to start like feeling the environment. You know what I mean? When I go there, I don't like to talk to too many people. I just enter, go straight to where my team stay. I sit there, start thinking about. Of course, I'm nervous a lot, like a lot. So then I start having that conversation with myself. I never really had a mental coach, but then I start having this conversation with myself and it's helping me a lot. I start thinking, oh my God, why I'm doing this? Why I'm still feeling this? It's like something that I can't control and I try to find the right reasons. So why I'm doing this, for what? So I'm not doing this for my team, for my master, for my parents, for my parents, for my friends, for the organization. No, I'm doing this because I choose. That's what I choose. That's the life what I choose. I choose to be there because Jiu-Jitsu is my joy. Jiu-Jitsu is my passion. Is my work. It's everything that I do. You know what I mean? Without Jiu-Jitsu, I would be like I don't know, lost. You know what I mean? So then I start like, yeah, I want to be here. I choose to be here. I want to feel this. So then start changing. Then by the time they call like open weight, go to warm up areas, I say, you know what? Then start changing. I'm not that nervous anymore. Then I like to always put my music, the championship playlist. I always did the same music, you know. Then when I go to walk down the stairs, I put my Rocky Balboa song, you know what I mean? So I have,
so that's what you listen to?
Yeah, every time. Exactly,
oh, man,
you know what I mean? So I have the same routine. When I get there, everybody's looking tough. Everybody's like, so I don't worry about them, don't worry about me. So then like, you know what, like feeling this, that place made me to be who I am. So the pyramid is the place that made me my life, changed my life. So I want to be here. Then by the time they put me on the deck, I'm not nervous anymore. I'm not like, what I'm doing here. I say, you know what, let's have some fun. Let's do it. I'm ready. I know I did the training. I try to remember like all the effort that I put to the training. I try to remember every drop of sweat on the mat that I put. I know I did my 12 weeks camp to be there ready. So I did my homework. I'm ready. So, and when I get there, I just always think, no matter how bad things go, I train my mind and my body will follow, and I'm gonna leave everything there. Doesn't matter if I'm gonna win, if I lose, but I'm gonna give my best. I'm gonna put my heart on the mat. So when I think about that, like, man, doesn't matter who I'm fighting. I said, the guy doesn't have more will than me. So if he really wanna take my spot, he need to beat me for real. So doesn't matter how is the guy's will, my will is always gonna be bigger than his, and that's I think was the difference. Because that's why I never lose a fight. I mean, I never lose because of that, like, oh, I give up. So a lot of times I lost, but I fought until the end because the guy really beat me. So it's it's rare to see when like, oh, I give up, when I break mentally. Of course, it happens a couple times, but it's hard. In the words, the guy to beat me, he really needs to beat me because, man, the guy that never give up and fight until the end. That's my mindset. That's how I like to think when I go there. Fight until the end, always to kill or die.
So you really focus on the effort.
Yes.
More than the result.
I try to think everything that, all the things that I left behind, you know what I mean? Like I'm leaving the United States, I left all my friends, all my family behind back in Brazil. So I'm going for something, I move to another country to train, to get a better train, to focus on my career. So every little thing that I did since back in the day when I started training, when I was 15 years old, when I was like, I remember like I used to ride a bicycle like 10 kilometers to go to the gym, train twice a day, then 10 kilometers to go back. So I did that for a long time, and I mean, I try to see the move from my life since back in the day, of course.
In the day of the tournament.
Yeah, like I try to remember everything, but in the day of the tournament, it's like I try to think more about the camp. Like, you know what? I did the camp. I'm training. I'm well prepared. I'm ready for it. But of course, by the time that I got in the tournament and we go there by the deck, it's like the 2 hours apart. I was afraid. I think the guy can beat me. I think I can lose. I think that I can be humiliated in the tournament. I think the guy can maybe do like a flying triangle and submit me and use me as like a step up. You know what I mean? So I think I have a lot of bad thoughts, but they start going away when I started having that conversation with myself. Saying I put these like bad thoughts away.
But in the same time, make you never underestimate anybody, right? So that's good.
No, I never do that. You know what I mean? Because one time I was the underdog. You know what I mean? So like I know if the guy's fighting me, I know he has nothing to lose. If he lose, okay, yeah, maybe he lose to Buchecha. Buchecha won everything, so okay, it was acceptable. But if he beats me, then it's like really good for him. You know, a lot of people think that I am like the shortcut. People see me like the shortcut, but of course I'm not the shortcut. If he beat me, okay, but if he doesn't do the whole thing and win the tournament and do that in the next year and do the next year, people are never gonna give him the real credit. He can make you like a 1 year fame, right? But if he doesn't prove himself, not because of one guy, he needs to do again. So, but of course, but a lot of people think that they see me like a shortcut. You know what I mean? So,
no, but you're the type of guy that you have the record that you can compete for the rest of your life and lose every single match. That nobody's gonna ever forget what you have done. So that's
like,
amazing.
One thing that I always put in my mind, like I always, of course, I never really thought how far I would get in jiu-jitsu. But things started happening, and after I won the first world title, I said, "Oh my God, man, I'm really good at it. Maybe I have like a real future, you know." But
as a black belt or
as
a
black
belt?
As a black belt, because the first one I lost, so man, I'm stuck. You know what I mean? Like
he lost in the finals, guys.
Yeah, but I said, "Oh my God." Then it was like
one of the greatest guys ever.
Yeah, but I mean, like, okay, maybe I was like a phenom on the lower belts, but in the black belts, it's different, you know what I mean? And I almost quit jiu-jitsu because I went to Brazil. I moved back to Brazil and I was about to start college. Then, like I said, you know what, I'm gonna try one more time and then I'm gonna start college. And then I won a tournament in Brazil, the Pan American. They were like paying a car brand new as a prize money, as a prize. I remember I fought
a brand new car.
A brand new car, yeah, sorry. Then I fought Leandro in the semi-final. Was the toughest match that I had in my career. Then the final I fought Calazans and I beat him and I won the brand new car. It was the biggest prize money that I got at the time. And in the following weekend I came to fight the world's no-gi and I won my weight in the open weight. And I said, oh my God, man, I'm world champion as black belt. No-gi, but I'm a world champion. So, you know what? I'm gonna stay here and try to make a living of that. Let's see what happens. And I'm still in California until that day, you know. But the plan was to come to California because I used to have a friend that I was his mule, you know what I mean? We used to buy stuff from the United States, so I had to carry the bags back. But he used to pay me the ticket for that, you know what I mean? So he bought my ticket, And then my father said, no, you know what, you're not happy here in Brazil, so instead of you go back to bring your friends clothing and stuff, I'll pay your ticket and you stay there, stay 6 months, because that's the time that the United States gives to you. So, and you try to figure out what you're gonna do. I said, oh my, okay. I feel like my father is kicking me out, but he knew that was like do better for my life, and I ended up staying 6 months as he suggested, and I remember it was a lot of effort for him to pay like the ticket at the time, because of course I never was like from a poor family, but sometimes it's hard for you like take from, you know what I mean, from Brazil. And man, because of my parents' support, everything was able to, I was able to be where I am today, you know what I mean? So
I watched a video another day that they were talking like when you grow up in a family that your parents are involved with drugs, or you step like very, very behind in the running, and when you grow up in a family that
support
your parents are married or supportive, and they support you since you're a child, how much higher chance you have like in life because that. So it sounds like your parents was like a huge part of your career. Like.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. They support me 100% in every decision that I had. I remember I went 2010. I moved to Florida to start making a living, but my jiu-jitsu started going down, and I felt like it wasn't the wrong choice. That's why I moved back to Brazil. Then I moved back to Brazil to train, ended up losing the world, so it wasn't the right choice again. And my father like suggested me to go to California and try again, and ended up like.
And he's black belt too, right?
He's black belt. My father and me we were like always fighting to get the belts together, and was always the same fighting, and we ended up getting the black belt at the same day.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
And your dad's also he's a world champion.
Yeah, like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, no, 3 years ago, he never came to California, so I said, you know what, come to visit him, but when you come, it's not gonna be just to hang out, you're gonna fight. I said, no, I haven't fight in like 15 years, no, I'm not gonna do it. Because the first time that I compete was the time that he competes too. Was the inside tournament of the gym, and he got like second place, and I got like third place, but I was like 15, so that was like 15 years ago. And he said, no, I haven't competed in like over 10 years, I'm not gonna do it. I said, yeah, do it. Then his friends kind of pushing him. He came and he won as black belt.
So guys, I think I just listened to something. So when you were 15 years old, you competed a tournament in your gym and you got third place.
Yeah, third place, but was like 4 guys, you know. So I lost first round.
Oh, so even no, I'm saying is like at some point you were the loser, and now look where you are.
No, like the first 10 tournaments that I fought. Because I used to fight juvenile and open and adult, because you could do that in the state championship. Man, I remember I lost the first 10 tournaments that I did in my career.
The first 10 tournaments you ever competed, you lost?
First or 8, but I remember every tournament I always lose in the first round.
Really?
So it took me a while to realize what was amazing. The feeling to get the arm raised. You know what I mean? Wow. But of course, always in the time when I fight, I remember the first time that I went. I fought like Roberto Satoshi. At the time, he was the world champion.
Double gold juvenile.
And then I got this guy first round. I said, oh my God, that was bad luck. Then the guy killed me. But he was like, of course, more experienced and everything. Then I fought the guy that was like winning everything as blue belt, adult. Then he beat me. Then he was fighting juvenile as well. Then I meet him again the first round. Then he beat me. Then I fought the other guy. That after I fought like so many times. Then like the guy from São Paulo too. Then he beat me. So I always were losing to like tough guys. So I never like really fought like a guy that is like, okay, let me see. This guy's not famous. This guy's not winning. So, and I remember one time I was winning the fight. And I had like a triangle really tight. The guy was really strong. I used to play just guard because I didn't know how to do a takedown. I just not, and nobody was like pulling guard on my division, so I got a triangle, and I tried to switch for armbar, and the guy ended up passing my guard. I remember that was like as painful as losing the first words as black belt, because like I never
almost
really,
had it.
yeah, I never really cry when I lose, but I of course sometimes I did. Like this time I did a lot, and when I lose the first time in the world as black belt, 2011, when I lose to Leo, man, I remember was like I cry a lot, and that was the first, the only 2 times that I think about quitting jiu-jitsu. You know what I mean? But of course, I remember after when I lose as black belt, as blue belt juvenile, I remember my instructor, my professor at the time, Teco Shinzato. I said, man, you know what? I'm suck at jiu-jitsu. I'm not good at it. I just lose. I lost like 10 tournaments in the first round. The sport is not for me. I'm quit. Then he said, I remember those words. He said, you can be the weak one and give up, or you can show up Monday in the gym and train more.
Oh yeah.
Then everybody heard that, you know what I mean? So like I said, oh my God, if I don't show up in the gym Monday, I'm gonna be the weak one, the guy, the quitter.
Oh, that's awesome.
So like, oh my God, I don't wanna be that guy, you know what I mean? They're like, oh, I don't wanna go to the gym, let's go. Then I went, then I started training again. The gym, like jiu-jitsu was something that I always liked. I always was as a kid, you know what I mean? And I remember then was the other year, the following year, then I fought the in gym championship. And then I won the first one ever.
Awesome.
And was like, you know, like a really small tournament, 3 fights, but it was like the best feeling in the world.
Yeah.
Because I not just won the first round, but I won the second round and the final. And I still remember how I got, like, man, I got like a helicopter sweep. The guy fell, the guy tried to stand up, I jumped on his back, got like a bow and arrow. And man, it was like winning the world championship for me, like was the best feeling. After that day, I fought again, then I won, and after that, every tournament that I went to compete, I always bring a medal, so that was changing, you know what I mean? So that was like a big lesson. So when you almost thinking about quitting, don't do it, because if you overcome that, it's gonna be big things coming. That was the same thing when there's a black belt. Then man, I quit, I'm not gonna do it anymore. Then I try to fight a couple times without really will. Then I lose. I say, you know what? I'm gonna do like a college. That's not really working for me. I need to work about my future. I have to need a plan B. And then I said, you know what? I'm gonna fight one more. Let's fight one more words. Then the following year, I fought the words and I won the open weight and won my division. And I said, oh my God, I'm really good at it. Like it can be like.
That was 2012 when you had the double leg on Adolfo Tima's match.
End of the match. Yeah. Then I revenge because I beat Leo Nogueira and Rodolfo, the guys who beat me in the year before. You know what I mean? So it was like, oh my God, that. Always when you have a hard time, always when you think about quitting in something in your life, it's always like, you know what?
You're very close.
That. Yeah, you're very close. Don't give up. Overcome that. Good things are coming. You know, so
amazing.
That's even when you like at home tired, like, oh my God, I don't want to go in, but not because of your injury or because you feel like kind of like overtrained, because it's different. But when you're like, I don't want to go today, go, because that's the days that really gonna count. The days that you want to train, it's easy. You are, but the days that you like, I don't want to do it. That's the days that really gonna count. That's how I see, you know what I mean?
That's amazing. No, that's amazing. And Buchecha, what's next for you right now? Like, I think what's your plan? What are you thinking?
Yeah, like right now, I don't have like really any plans. So I fought the Worlds and I fought the ADCC, and that was like 3 tournaments a year. This year already, so I'm not the kind of guy that fights a lot anymore because I'm getting old. So I really pick the big ones. So if something shows up before there was like a super fight, I'm down to do it. But besides of that, I'm not fighting Pan Ams or Europeans or anything like that.
Yeah, so maybe like last question here. And how do you find motivation to keep doing it? You know, like, for someone who just got a black belt or who has never won the Worlds or who won the World Zones, to go to the Worlds and compete again, it's still fun. You know, oh man, I can win the Worlds, so I can win the Worlds twice, or maybe my first year as a black belt, or maybe I want to beat that guy. But you beat everybody. You won the worlds 13 times, and you have been doing that for a long time. What drives you to go to have done the worlds this year as you did, to compete the ADCC as you did? And
yeah, that was like a good question, and a lot of times I ask that to myself. And I remember like before I got hurt, I was kind of over it, and was like 2013, 2015 in my head was my last year. So after that, I was thinking about going to MMA, and I got injury and changing my whole life. And after the injury, I felt like was like after I recovered, was like feeling I just got my black belt. Was like, oh, I want to do it. I want to do it again. So then I did. Then I won again. Then I got like 10 titles. And after I got 10 titles, like I had to fight one more. And people said, okay, if you win, you're gonna break the record. Of course, never was something I was looking for. I just do jiu-jitsu because something that I love to do, but became like a lot of pressure. You know what I mean? So wasn't being like really fun. So I remember there was like the worst fight that I ever did in my final when I was about to break the record was 2018 last year. And I did, then I won, but my opinion was like a really bad fight because I was so scared to lose, but I ended up winning. And after that, man, the whole weight that I had over my shoulders was like gone. You know what I mean? So in the following year, this year, I was happy. I did the whole camp like happy. I wasn't hell like, oh my God, I need to do it. Then I see a lot of guys doing the interview like, oh my God, man, I wish the words was like tomorrow because I can't do anymore. Like, no, I was training and I was like, you know what? I wish I have more time to train because I'm getting better. I'm getting better. So I'm okay doing the camp. So then I feel like, okay, I want to do it. Every time I went to do the gym, I went to train in the gym, I was happy, I was laughing, I was like playing with my friends, I was like training with like, oh my God, feeling good. So then when I went to the Worlds, man, I was so comfortable fighting. I did like a good fights. Of course I have tough ones, but I did like a really like comfortable, let's say like that, you know what I mean? And then because I felt that because I didn't have the pressure anymore.
Yeah.
So now I always wanted people say, what drives you? Like what's driving me is because I want to do what's never been done. You know what I mean? So I want to be the first one. I want to be like the one that did. You know what I mean? Like who, like if you ask people in the history after who was the first one to win like the more titles in the BJJ, like people gonna talk my name. So like it was something that drive me, like to make history, you know, and to be the first one to be what's never been done, and I did it. And now it's not about like somebody else. It's like about me. I always want to make better of I want to beat myself. You know what I mean? So that's something that still motivates me. And of course, I fought the old generation, not the old generation. Let's go the old school, right? Then my generation, and now the new generation. So it's been fun to always test myself against all the generations. So I'm glad to say I fought everyone in my era. You know what I mean? So it's been something cool to accomplish. You know what I mean?
I was gonna say, you know that Renato Laranja's not a real person. He didn't really win 27 titles. So you don't really have to
maybe he did that.
But other than him, I think it's gonna be pretty hard for anyone to catch you for a long time.
Man, I think so too, because I know how hard it was. You know what I mean? Sure. Like, you know too, like how hard it is to get a world title. And I think one thing that made me do that was my injury, because after the injury, the motivation that like just renew everything, and it was something that drive me like, I don't want to like quit. I don't want to like quit jiu-jitsu. And when my last memory will be like leaving the pyramid, crying in an ambulance. You know what I mean? And that's not how I want to end my career. No, I want to get there and I want to fight again, even if I don't win. But I want to leave the arena walking. That was my first thing that I put in my mind. You know what I mean? And a lot of people asking me like, hey, Buchecha, when you gonna retire? My answer is always the same, man. If I retire, then I have to work. You know? I don't like to work, so that's one of the reasons I still fight.
Oh, that's amazing. No, but guys, we just shot an entire instruction with Buchecha all about his folding pass.
And he worked crazy hard.
And he worked crazy hard, even though he doesn't like working. So, and what was amazing to see like how he has a system to do his folding pass, and that was kind of like our job as well. Was trying to go inside his mind and figure out everything he does when he's in the folding pass, and it came out really, really good. So. Yeah, we're gonna launch it soon at BJJFanatics.com, so make sure to check that out. Maybe by the time you're listening, it's already there. And thanks so much, Buchecha. Appreciate it.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for the invitation. It was really a big pleasure to work with you guys. And we just would like to say congratulations for the great job that you guys are been doing for the Jiu-Jitsu community. That's amazing. So we just need people like you guys, because of course, it's making our sport growing, and with being possible to making like athletes to live off the sport, because that's something that everybody wants to do. You know, if you can make a living just off the jiu-jitsu, it's amazing. So you don't need like to work with something else, and you guys are making that like possible for not just the best guys, but like for everyone. It's jiu-jitsu for everyone, so that's amazing. So congratulations, guys.
Thank you, Shit.
And I'm really happy to be part of that too.
Awesome.
Our goal is to make 20 more videos with you than you have more titles.
I'm close to like retired, but so I don't have problem to show all my secrets and share with everyone. So that's what I'm doing right here.
I think what we're learning is that you're a lot more than just an incredible competitor. You're really an incredible teacher too.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that, guys.
Yeah, guys, thanks so much for listening, and thank you again, Buchecha.
Yeah,